What if I told you that you could hit every single muscle in your body with just 3 exercises? Now, I'm not suggesting that you only perform these 3 exercises, although for some it could be a viable option, but rather that these powerful movements could make up the bulk of your muscle gains. So if your goal is to pack on as much muscle as possible, or if you're looking to spend less time in the gym without leaving any muscle groups untouched, then pay very close attention to what I'm going to share with you in this video. Because if you revolve the majority of your training around these 3 movements, you'll have no problem building a well-rounded physique. But before we jump into the actual exercises, let's first go over the criteria. Criteria for this list: number 1, compound exercises. The most obvious reason is that the following exercises are all compound movements. In other words, these are multi-joint exercises that hit multiple muscles at the same time. Number 2, ability to load. According to research, you can get an equally good muscle stimulus with moderate to high reps as you can with low reps. The same study, however, also showed that heavier representative ranges resulted in significantly more strength gains. As we know, progressive overload, or increasing the demands on your body over time, is the main mechanism by which we build muscle, and all of these exercises will allow you to lift heavy and get stronger. And number 3, versatility. On the flip side, these exercises are also versatile, because you can safely train them in various rep ranges, frequencies and intensities. So now that you understand why I have chosen these exercises, let's jump right in. Exercise number 1, squat. Often touted as the king of lower body exercises, the barbell back squat has been shown to elicit extremely high muscle activity in all of the main lower body musculature, from the glutes and quads to the hamstrings and even calves. This isn't to say that the squat is the best exercise to build every lower body muscle. To the contrary, the hack squat was shown to elicit far greater quad activation than the traditional back squat, and there is no better exercise for hitting the hamstrings than the Romanian deadlift. But when it comes to total lower body musculature, there is no lower body exercise that hits every leg muscle to the degree of the back squat. In fact, one study published in the International Journal of Sports Medicine showed that the barbell back squat produced 2 times the glute growth compared to the hip thrust. So, although studies show that the hip thrust elicited greater glute activation, the squat actually resulted in more muscle growth. Keep in mind, however, that best results come from squatting with a full range of motion. One 2013 study published in the European Journal of Applied Physiology compared deep squats to shallow squats. They found that squatting with a full range of motion resulted in significantly more strength and muscle growth than squatting above parallel. Another more recent study compared squatting with a full range of motion, squatting to parallel and half squatting. At the conclusion of the study, the full range of motion group got the best results, followed by the group squatting to parallel. Long story short, use a full range of motion and focus on progression. As long as you're doing those 2 things, you'll have no problem adding mass to your legs. Exercise number 2, bench press. The bench press is going to cover the upper body pushing muscles, including the chest, shoulders and triceps. EMG research compared the barbell bench press, cable crossover, dumbbell bench press, butterflies, dumbbell flies and pullovers. When it comes to chest activation, the barbell bench press blew all other exercises out of the water. But although EMG data is important, what matters the most is actual muscle growth. Fortunately, we have that data as well. Japanese research published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning suggests that those who bench press more weight tend to have bigger pecs. Based on this data, if you want to build a bigger chest, then the goal should be to get stronger on the bench press. And before you assume that the triceps and shoulders will not be hit to a significant degree, consider this. Research was done using a cutting-edge system called SMART, consisting of infrared cameras and a wireless module to measure electrical activity. As the participants lifted heavier and heavier weight, the pecs were activated more, which shouldn't be surprising. What's interesting, however, is that the relative contribution of the pecs decreased as they lifted heavier weight. Basically, your triceps and other supporting muscles, including the lats, begin to contribute much more as the intensity increases. So if your goal is to build overall upper body mass, it's imperative that you focus on improving your bench by gradually lifting heavier over time. And exercise number 3, barbell row. Now that we've covered the entire lower body and upper body pushing muscles, all that's left to hit are the pulling muscles in the upper body, including the back and biceps. Now you probably thought I'd include the deadlift, and for good reason, as it's a great exercise that hits a ton of muscles, but the squat already hits the glutes, hamstrings, and spine erectors. Not only that, but the deadlift doesn't stimulate your biceps to any significant degree. That said, for the third exercise, we're going with the barbell row. That's because research confirms it's one of the best exercises for hitting the entire back musculature. One study, sponsored by ACE, compared various back exercises. The barbell row turned out to produce the most muscle activation for the mid-traps, spinal erectors and infraspinatus. Not only that, but they were one of the best for the lats and lower traps as well. And although the barbell row isn't the best exercise for every pulling muscle, it does seem to be the best way to target all of the back musculature with one movement. As for the execution, there are a couple of ways you can perform this exercise with an overhand grip or with an underhand grip. While they're both viable options, they do emphasize different muscles. One article published on T-Nation by Dr. Brett Contreras showed that the overhand barbell row emphasized the mid and lower traps, while the underhand variation emphasized more of the biceps and lats. Keep in mind, both variations will hit the entire back musculature as well as the biceps. That said, I suggest just choosing the variation that feels best for you and making that the focus of your back training. So there you have it, the only 3 exercises you need to hit every muscle in your body. Again, this isn't to say that you should only perform these 3 exercises, but rather that they should be a staple in your routine if you want to maximize overall muscle mass or if you are truly short on time and you'll need to limit your training to just 3 movements. These would be the ones I'd recommend. Did you find this video helpful? If so, click the like button below as it'll truly help out the channel. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe for more videos and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next one.